Hey everyone, welcome to Financial Area. 67 million Americans are about to see a major announcement on October 15th, and most have no idea it's coming. This isn't just another government update. It's the day that determines how much money shows up in Social Security checks, what gets taken out for Medicare, and how the rules around retirement are shifting. Early projections suggest retirees could see about $54 extra a month. But here's the catch. Rising Medicare premiums might eat up nearly 40% of that increase, leaving you with only about $32 in actual take-home money. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how these changes affect you, why the math doesn't always add up the way you'd expect, and what steps you can take right now to protect your retirement. If you want to stay ahead of changes that affect your money, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an update. Let's dive in. October 15th is the day the Social Security Administration announces the cost of living adjustment, or COLA, for the following year. For 2026, experts are projecting about a 2.7% increase to benefits. Now, what does that actually mean in dollars? For the average retiree, it works out to roughly $54 more per month, or about $650 over the course of the entire year if those projections hold. That sounds like a meaningful raise, right? But here's where things get complicated. This number isn't final yet. The Social Security Administration bases the COLA on inflation data from the third quarter of the year, specifically September. So the official announcement on October 15th will include the final calculation once that data is processed. Until then, the 2.7% figure is an estimate based on current trends. Now let's talk about the part that surprises a lot of people. Medicare Part B premiums are also expected to rise in 2026, and the projection is an 11% increase. That translates to an additional $26.50 per month coming out of your Social Security check. Here's the math that matters. If you're getting a $54 increase from COLA, but Medicare takes an extra $26.50, you're only netting about $27.50 more per month. Some projections even suggest the actual take-home could be closer to $32 depending on final numbers. Either way, what looked like a solid raise on paper ends up being cut almost in half before it even reaches your bank account. But there's something even bigger going on here that doesn't get talked about enough. The formula used to calculate COLA is called the CPI-W, which stands for Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers. Notice what's missing there: retirees. The CPI-W tracks spending patterns of working people, not people who've already retired. And that creates a real problem because retirees spend money very differently. They spend more on healthcare, housing, and utilities, and these are exactly the categories where costs have been climbing the fastest. For example, medical care services have gone up by about 4.2% this year. That's significantly higher than the projected 2.7% COLA. So even with an adjustment, your actual buying power continues to shrink. You're getting a raise, but the things you need to buy are getting more expensive even faster. That's why so many seniors feel like they're always falling behind no matter what the COLA announcement says. Now let's shift to something that doesn't grab as many headlines, but has a huge impact on when and how you should claim Social Security. Back in 1983, Congress passed a law that gradually raised the full retirement age from 65 to 67. This wasn't an overnight change. It's been phasing in slowly over decades. In 2026, that phase-in will finally be complete. What that means is if you were born in 1960 or later, your full retirement age is officially 67. Not 65, not 66, it's 67. Here's why this matters so much. You can still claim Social Security as early as age 62, but if you do, the reduction to your monthly benefit is now steeper than it used to be. When full retirement age was 65, claiming at 62 meant a smaller cut. Now that full retirement age is 67, claiming at 62 means you're taking benefits 5 years early instead of 3, and that results in a bigger permanent reduction to your monthly check. We're talking about a difference that adds up to thousands of dollars over the course of your retirement. On the flip side, if you delay claiming benefits past your full retirement age, you earn what's called delayed retirement credits. For every year you wait beyond 67 up until age 70, your benefit increases by 8%. That's a guaranteed 8% annual return, which is pretty hard to beat in any other investment. So if you could afford to wait, the financial upside is significant. But here's the tricky part. Everyone's situation is different. Some people can't afford to wait. Others have health issues that make claiming earlier the smarter move. The point is that with the full retirement age now locked in at 67, the timing of when you claim has become more critical than ever. A decision made without understanding these rules could cost you tens of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. Let's talk about another change tied to October 15th that affects people who are still working. Every year, there's a cap on how much of your income gets taxed for Social Security. Right now, in 2025, that cap is set at $176,100. If you earn more than that, the additional income isn't subject to Social Security taxes. For 2026,
Early projections suggest that cap will rise to about $183,600. If you're a higher earner, that means more of your paycheck will be taxed. Specifically, it works out to about $465 in additional Social Security taxes for the year. For most people, this doesn't affect their daily lives, but if you're at the top end of the income scale, it's something to factor into your financial planning. There's also something called the earnings test, and this is important if you're thinking about claiming Social Security before you reach full retirement age while still working. The earnings test sets a limit on how much you can earn from work before Social Security starts withholding part of your benefits. For 2026, if you're under full retirement age for the entire year, the projected limit is around $24,360. That's up from $23,400 in 2025. If you earn more than that threshold, Social Security withholds $1 in benefits for every $2 you earn above the limit. Now, if you're reaching full retirement age during 2026, the limit is higher, around $64,800, and the reduction is less severe. $1 is withheld for every $3 over the limit. Here's the good news. Once you reach full retirement age, there are no earnings limits at all. You can make as much as you want without any impact on your benefits, and any benefits that were withheld earlier get recalculated into your future payments, so they're not lost forever. But understanding these thresholds is crucial if you're planning to work part-time or ease into retirement gradually. Now let's talk about something that younger workers and people with inconsistent employment need to pay attention to: work credits. To qualify for Social Security retirement benefits at all, you need to earn 40 work credits over your lifetime. That usually works out to about 10 years of work. In 2025, you earn 1 credit for every $1,810 in earnings, and you can earn a maximum of 4 credits per year. For 2026, that dollar amount is expected to go up, though the exact number hasn't been officially announced yet. For someone working full-time, hitting 40 credits isn't difficult, but for part-time workers, gig economy workers, or anyone with gaps in their employment history, this can become a real hurdle. If you don't accumulate enough credits, you won't qualify for retirement benefits at all. That's why it's so important for younger people to pay attention to these updates, even if retirement feels like it's decades away. Missing out on credits early in your career can have consequences that don't show up until much later. Now, here's where things get heavier, and this is the part that a lot of people either don't know about or choose not to think about. The Social Security Trust Fund itself is in trouble. According to the most recent trustees report, the combined trust funds could run out by 2033. That's only 7 years away from this 2026 update we're talking about. If nothing changes, if Congress doesn't step in with a fix, the system would only be able to pay out what it collects in payroll taxes, and that would cover about 77% of scheduled benefits, which means across-the-board benefit cuts of roughly 23% would kick in automatically. Let me put that in real terms. If you're expecting a $2,000 monthly Social Security check, a 23% cut would drop that to $1,540. That's $460 less every single month, or $5,520 less every year. For someone depending on Social Security as their primary income, that's devastating. Imagine planning your retirement around a certain amount of money and then suddenly losing almost a quarter of it. That's the kind of reality we're talking about if the trust fund runs dry without intervention. So what's being done about it? That's where the politics come in. The Trump administration has been focused on efficiency audits through something called the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. The goal is to streamline how the Social Security Administration operates, cut waste, and modernize outdated systems. The new commissioner, Frank Mignano, has been vocal about improving technology and reducing bureaucratic inefficiencies. Supporters of this approach say it will help stretch the program further and make it run more smoothly. Critics argue that while efficiency is great, it doesn't actually address the core funding gap. You can make the system run better, but if there's not enough money coming in to cover what's going out, the problem remains. At the same time, recent tax policies like the senior deduction and the One Big Beautiful bill provide real relief to retirees right now by reducing their taxable income. That helps households in the short term, but it also lowers the amount of revenue flowing into the trust fund. So there's this ongoing tension between providing immediate financial relief and ensuring the long-term sustainability of the program. It's a balancing act, and right now, there's no clear consensus on how to solve it. Here's something you hear a lot, especially from younger people. Social Security will be gone by the time I retire. That's not really accurate. Even if the trust fund runs completely dry in 2033, payroll taxes will still be collected. Those taxes would cover about 77% of scheduled benefits, so it's not like Social Security disappears entirely, but 77% of what you were promised is still a 23% cut, and that's a big deal. The question is how that gap gets filled. Does Congress raise payroll taxes? Do they cut benefits further? Do they raise the retirement age even more? Do they means test benefits so higher earners get less? All of these options are on the table, and all of them are politically difficult. That's where the uncertainty lies. Nobody knows exactly what the fix will look like, and that makes planning for the future harder. So what does all of this mean for you right now? It means October 15th is the day to really pay attention. Not just to see how much more money shows up in your check, but to think about your overall financial plan. Will rising Medicare premiums wipe out most of your COLA increase? Should you rethink when to claim benefits given the new retirement age rules? Are you working part-time and not building enough credits? Are you factoring in the possibility of future benefit cuts when planning your retirement savings? These are the kinds of questions worth asking yourself. Another thing to consider is how Social Security fits into your bigger financial picture. Relying only on Social Security might leave you vulnerable, especially with these projected cuts looming. Some financial experts suggest that future retirees, particularly those in Generation X, might need to save an additional $150,000 or more just to offset potential reductions in Social Security benefits. That could mean setting aside an extra $700 a month starting now just to make up for what might be lost. That's a tough pill to swallow, but it shows why planning ahead and building other sources of retirement income is so important. Social Security was never designed to be the only source of retirement income. It was meant to be a foundation, not the entire house. As October 15th approaches, make sure you check the official Social Security website for updates. That's where they'll release the final COLA numbers once the September inflation data is processed. That's the most direct and reliable way to see what actually applies to you. And when you look at those numbers, don't just focus on the increase. Look at your Medicare premiums, look at your tax situation, look at your retirement timeline. All of these pieces fit together, and understanding the full picture is what helps you make smart decisions. Do you think Social Security will be strong enough for future generations, or does the system need a complete overhaul? Drop your answer in the comments below. I really want to hear what you think about this. At the end of the day, October 15th is more than just a date on the calendar. It's a reminder that Social Security isn't set in stone. It changes with the economy, with politics, and with time. The best thing you can do is stay informed, stay flexible, and keep planning. That kind of steady awareness is what helps you take control instead of feeling blindsided. So stay tuned for the official announcement. Keep an eye on your finances. And as always, thanks for spending this time with me today. If you found this helpful, smash that subscribe button and share this with someone who needs to prepare for these changes. At Financial Area, we help you take control instead of feeling blindsided. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.